These are my two horses, Kachina and Ruger. Ruger is wearing his blinged out Dr. Cook's Bitless Bridle. So it was a nice November day, November 21st, and I just want to demonstrate some lateral flexion. That's getting your horse to flex at the pole. This horse is 9 years old. I've had him since he was 16 months old. We don't do a whole lot of ring work, but we mostly like to do trails and a lot of other stuff. But I'm in the round pen. I'm taping myself, so I set up these cones. There's probably 30 feet between them. So this is a 85-foot round pen, just so you can see about how big it is. So it's quite small area. I'm setting up the camera myself, so nobody's there taping me. So I had to make it so you could see what was going on. So I'm just letting him trot on his own. A western neck rein. He likes to stop. So he perceives any shift in weight as a cue to stop, because that's what he likes to do best. So I'm riding him on a loose rein, and I just pulled him out of the pen. I didn't lunge him or anything. And then I'm going to take up some English contact and show you how I get him to flex at the pole. I really want him to listen to my seat and my other aids, and not just the reins. But if I do ask him to flex at the pole to give me some lateral flexion, I expect him to respond and get soft in his face. So here I'm just walking him off, collecting his face a little bit, very soft. I'm using usually my pinky and my ring finger to get his head down, and I like him to maintain on his own that loopy line. It's just a nice soft feel to where he's not pulling on my hands and I'm not pulling on his face. Also, when I do ask him to back up, I always ask him to drop his head first and then back up, so he's backing up nice and soft and not having his back hollow or his neck inverted. It's not good to ride the horse with their head up in the air. So he does it automatically. When I back him up, he now at this point just puts his head down before he backs up, which I'll demonstrate when I don't use any reins. And I'm riding him with just a bareback pad, so I didn't get my pants so dirty. He is barefoot, bitless, and he has been since I've owned him. He's never had shoes and never had to wear a bit. A lot of people think you can't get them to do some of these things without first training them in a bit, and that's not true. You can get them to do, I think, everything better without ever using a bit. It just takes timing, release of pressure, exactly the same thing that you would do in the bit, except the horse doesn't have to focus on any pain that would be given via the metal in his mouth, and he can focus more on the lesson. Horses can still misbehave, bitted or bitless. They're horses. But I think you get a lot more focus, a lot more attention. So I'm just showing that I have no hands now, and I'm really focusing on where I am looking. When I want to turn, I will open my inside leg, and if I'm going to turn left, and put pressure on the outside leg if he doesn't respond. But sometimes he'll respond without me even touching him with my legs and just looking where I'm going. But if he needs a little incentive, then I will use my legs. And in some of this video, I actually show to where I'm pushing with the right leg and opening the inside leg. So if I want to turn here to the right, I can open my right leg and push with my left leg to get him to go through the turn. And you'll see, even though I don't have any reins, he keeps his head down because that's the way I'm used to riding him. I don't let him go around with his head up in the air. And same thing in the back up. You'll see the next horse is not quite as good as he is because she hasn't had as much practice. And even though she was older, she was rehomed for 4 years, and whoever rode her, she came back with her head and neck up and bobbing her head up and down all the time, and from being ridden incorrectly. Even though she was ridden in the bitless, she was ridden incorrectly. So it has a lot to do with the timing of your release in your hands. If you have too tight of a rein, the horse is going to have his head up high. So you have to release when his head is down low to get that nice softness from your horse. So coming up next is Cathie, and she has got her blinged out turquoise brow band, and so I'm riding her just on the western neck rein here, which both of my horses, their neck reins aren't perfect. They're works in progress. But even if you ride western, and you should be able to ride English and take contact up on both reins and get your horse to give to the bridle, no matter what you have on the horse's face. They need to give to the pressure, and they rely on your good timing and the softness of your hands to do the right thing. So the minute that they drop their head when you have contact on your reins, that's when you want to give back to them. You can take up the contact immediately again, but as soon as they give, you want to release that and have them travel with their head and neck down low into the turns. And you'll see here when I do ride, I think with no hand, she doesn't stay on the cones as much as I want. When she's backing up, I want her to drop her head a little bit before I release her. Again, not as low as the other horse, and I'm constantly having to tell her, drop your head, drop your head. That's when I'll release you. Get soft to my hands, and I will be soft on your face. Because it's not good to allow them to travel with their head up high, and with their back hollowed out and their neck inverted. So it's a constant struggle when we're doing ring work to have the horse keep her head and neck down low. I don't want to force her in too much of a frame or have her flex at the pole too much, because that can cause an airway obstruction in itself. So when we're out trail riding, we have a long, a loose neck rein, and we don't care about how low her head is, because it's going to be low naturally, because she's not being expected to do a lot of work. But if we're going to ride in the ring, we want to ride the horse correctly. When we're asking her to do a nice slow trot, I have to, and she does well at that, but I have to keep telling her to bring her head down and keep it down, and I'll get off her back. Well, not literally, but I'll get off her face if she stays in that nice position there. Yeah, I might make another video using a saddle, because I have here bareback, nothing to put my feet in, so my posture probably doesn't look as good as it should, because I'm bareback, and I have to work at that too. So you're going to see in a second me ride with no hands. And again, the horse is not going to, when she doesn't respond, I have to pick up my reins and redirect her on my circle. Okay, so here I have no hands. I'm looking where I want her to go, and if she doesn't stay there, I can use my leg and push her while I'm asking her to turn here. But if she doesn't go, then I can push her with my left leg. I'm opening my right leg, and when she comes off of my circle, I have to redirect her. And she get distracted here. I don't know the go or the construction, but I had to really redirect her. And I'm just showing how I sit back for a halt, and I'm bumping my legs up in front of her drive line to have her back up, and then energy, eyes up, and looking where I'm going. And at first when I did that for back up, she didn't back up, so I'd obviously have to hold the reins and say, no, this is what I want. I did short sessions. I do a lot of short sessions. Losing my balance here because she went inside that cone, I think. I do a lot of short sessions. I maybe ride these horses 15 minutes a piece, and I really don't ever overdo any of my training here at the farm. One, because I don't have a lot of time, because I'm working off farm retraining people's problem horses or starting the young horses. She's a lot choppier than my quarter horse. She's only 14.1 and change. My quarter horse is 14.2, but she has an old injury that made her a little club-footed and a little choppy to ride. A lot choppy. So I hardly ever, well, I think I've never cantered her in such a tight circle as I did here, and even using the whole ring, she's, you know, I'm sure it's my fault, choppy, and I just don't do a lot of canter work. Here she's fighting the bridle. I'm saying get your head down, and have to keep redirecting her. And I didn't canter the other horse. I don't even know why I did her, but basically this video is showing how to redirect the horse to keep the horse's head down. Here when she's popping her head up, I just have to keep asking and asking until she'll stay with her head down in that position. Again, going with no hands here, looking to where I'm going, and I'll pick up the reins and redirect her if she doesn't stay on the path. But it's my responsibility to make sure I'm looking where I want to go. And it looks like I am here, looking to my turn. She does very well there. And then I'm going to open the left leg, exaggerating it here, and pushing with the right leg, and halt. And now I'm going to finish off with a canter here. Well, first backing up, so I want her soft. Keep holding until her head is down and give her a release. I don't want to quit her when her head's up, so I'll keep backing her up until her head is down low. And she knows that I'm going to cue her into a canter, so she gets really pissy coming up here. So, but she's doing a very nice slow canter, slow trot, and then I'm going to ask her to canter. And it gets a little ugly, but it's the best we can do where we're at. Drop your head, up it goes. I keep taking, saying stop fighting the bridle. I need you soft in my hands. And here we go. bad for a small circle when we especially we don't do a lot of it. And we're going to stop and go the other way. I want her head down, it goes up in the turn, and I got to get it down again, get her soft in the bridle, and here we go again. So I hope you were able to get a tip or two for this. Patience, good timing. You can do as much of this as at a walk, and until you get the horse to keep their head down. And these bridles come in all different kind of colors now. You can go to the website and pick out the colors you'd like, the materials that you like. They have beta, that's easy to wash. They have leather, they have English, Western, whatever you need. So thank you for watching, and come visit us at our websites if you need more information.